Here.
Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Kill him at the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go. You watching Contact.
Here.
You can thank the master. About to go big. Kill him at the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him at the PrizePicks. 24/7 researching, it's all a fantasy. But if I make the right plays, it pays automatically. Bankroll showing that I know it don't strategy. On a winning streak, I'm stacking a dose of the bookies, all get mad at me. Confident with power plays, not clicking on a flex today. 10 times the money, and we all about to get paid. Arrogant Josh on the stream, they be killing it. Never gonna stop it, I like if you feeling it. Digging the players, they all never time. You can't make up your mind and just go with your gut. Fantasizing Sasha Cloud, Gabby Williams said watch your mouth. They 1 and they 2, I play the over, they come through. Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum, pick them both, we stacking them. Going big to the maximum, just push them in, we cashing them. Let's fucking go, we about to go big. Kill him at the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go. You watching Contact.
Here.
You can thank a master. About to go big. Kill him at the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him at the PrizePicks. We about to go big.
This is the game.
You watching Contact.
Let's get hunting.
You can thank the master. About to go big. Kill him at the PrizePicks. About to go big. Kill him at the PrizePicks.
What is up, everyone? I'm sorry I was late. Got held up with some things, but we got one game. I'm gonna breeze through it because I gotta get back to some obligations. But yeah, it's one game slate, so it should be no problem. Yeah, so let's dive into it as people are trickling in. I'll catch up with chat, but today we have a rematch of a recent game that I think was a few days over the weekend, and it's Atlanta and New York. And we all know how we feel about Atlanta on the road. It's one of the worst road teams. So I would say tread lightly with this one. I do not have the most confidence in this slate, especially since it's one game and it's Atlanta on the road. And Atlanta is getting some pieces back today. They, getting Tiffany for majority of the season. Don't know how many minutes she's going to play, but she's back in the mix. Erica Wheeler recently came back from her injury stint and could see a minute increase. I think she played 24 minutes in the most recent game. So who knows with her minutes. So yeah, things could be a little bit tricky on Atlanta's side, and they're already not good on the road. So yeah, makes me very hesitant, but maybe we can pick out some key props here. Yeah, so in this recent matchup, we can just go ahead and break it down. I went and rewatched it last night, but yeah, I mean, Sabrina did her usual thing, racked up the rebounds and assists. She's been like on a tear for her PRA. So all her lines are super juiced. We'll get into that. Might want to take the risk and take some unders with her. And then Natasha was super efficient. But yeah. So if you get a good feel on her, roll with her. I would probably just end up fading her, especially in case if it blows out. And then one key thing I noticed on New York side is that Dolson really had a hard time keeping up with Atlanta's pace. She was basically getting run off the court and using all her energy just to run up and down the court and play defense. So she did not really get it done offensively. And Atlanta is stout in the paint. I believe they are, they're first in amount of points allowed in the paint. They give up the least amount. So you can maybe consider some unders with her, which we'll get into. But yeah, she looked like she was gassed out there. And then Shaq Zhu even struggled to score as well off the bench. And she got ran off the court as well and played less minutes than normal. She only played 19 minutes. Some matchups, 22, 24. Yeah, but I think the key thing here that's missing to point out in this matchup is that Dangerfield played in this game, and she recently has left the team. and she's gone. And so this is going to be New York's first game without her. I'm under the assumption that Sammy Wickham will take her place and start, which would mean more minutes possibly for Sammy. Um, I'm really liking Sammy today with her props being pretty low. I think they're set at what she would be at if she was coming off the bench like normal. So that's probably the key thing to point out here. And in that game, Marine, she was just on fire. And she's been on fire for like the last 2 or 3 games, and just looks super confident out there with her 3-point shooting and driving to the basket, and picking it up the slack with Rebecca Allen being out now for this long stint. So her lines got adjusted appropriately, but maybe we could still target some of hers. I really like her today, so I made her the cover girl. Just her style of play, definitely gaining confidence. So yeah, I'll just start with New York, the home team. I would say I already listed it here. My favorite props for them would be Sammy's 9.5 points, and then I'm considering going under on Sabrina's 8 assists. I think it does have potential to push, but I mean, just 8 assists. I mean, that's just really high. I know she's been crushing it lately. But no Rebecca Allen. Now Dangerfield's out, and Dangerfield being it's going to be bigger than most people think. Both Sabrina and Dangerfield were building this chemistry together and really working well together, and then now all of a sudden she's gone. So it's going to change up the flow and chemistry of this New York unit, and it could mess up Sabrina's playmaking. Who knows? So with that unknown and that change up, I think you could consider going under on her 8 assists, and then her 2.5 3-point made is always live because she's going to chuck it from 3, and she can get hot from 3 too. So, and with Atlanta kind of being like the Miami Heat of funnel defense, where they're gonna Atlanta's defense is going to funnel everything to the perimeter because their interior defense is so stout. So I think New York's going to take a lot of threes again in this matchup. Marine took 8. Sabrina took her usual, 9 to 10. Natasha only took 3. I expect her. Yeah, and with Dangerfield out, that's more shots to go around too, which Sammy could pick up. And Sammy's usually a pretty efficient 3-point shooter. So I think they have a 3-point prop for her too, but I just like her 9.5 points straight up, just how low it is. But yeah, I think Sammy would probably be a core play, and then Sabrina's under, and then mid tier would probably be Marine's 2.5 3. Yeah, I mean she's on fire right now, but it's due for regression at some point. And then her point prop, it's right there at 12.5. But I said last night if it's under 13, I could definitely consider it. And then Dolson's 6.5 point under, based on the game theory that I went over. The only concern with her is she can drain some random threes. So if she hits 1 or 2 threes, man, really mess things up for the under. But I think, what does she have? She didn't take any threes in that last matchup, which is kind of unusual for her. She'll usually take around 2 or 3. But yeah, she finished with 2 points. Like I said, she was gassed from the fast pace of Atlanta and playing defense, focusing on defense. So yeah, I think you could consider that. I would be hesitant to go under Shaq Zoo's points because she can get it hot from 3. She's pretty efficient 3-point shooter too. So she doesn't require to score in the paint. So she can avoid that Atlanta stout interior defense. Okay. And then on Atlanta's side, like I said, I just don't feel good about them. So it was really hard to find key pieces. But the one core play I really like is Christy Wallace, 7.5 points. I know Tiffany Hayes is making her weighted return, but I doubt she plays that many minutes. She hasn't played in so long. And Christy is a really efficient 3-point shooter as well. So I mean, she gets 1 or 2 threes, 7.5 points should be no problem. So that's probably the one I like the most on Atlanta. And then of course, Ryan Howard's props have been a very popular topic and discussion in our free Discord channel. So I think you could go with her fantasy at 29.5, or I was actually liking her rebound at 5. That was my early lean since last night. Just with how many 3-pointers New York is going to take, I think they're still like what? They're first in three-point attempts, so they take the most threes in the league. With Maureen and Sabrina and Natasha and Sammy, all of them are just going to chuck threes, and that's just even more opportunity for Ryan to get those boards, long rebounds that are going to probably get away from Billings and Parker. So, yeah, I like the rebounds, but I think a lot of people liked her fantasy as well. So I get it if you want to go with her fantasy, because she does rack up stocks, and she's averaging about 2.3 per game in the season, and she doesn't turn the ball over that much, averaging 1.6 turnovers. So totally get it if you want to go with the fantasy. So I'd say 1A, 1B for rebound and fantasy. Those are my early leans. And then we can maybe try to find 1 or 2 more, but let's catch up with chat real quick. Mike said, let's go close last night. Let's put it over the top tonight. Hope so, Mike. This is a tough one. You got to really dig deep. Big win. Thanks to you guys. Absolutely love the content. Hey, appreciate that every day. Really appreciate that. It said, let's go Summer League. What? Oh, yeah. Big news today. We got Summer League props. Right now, we only have point props, but hopefully we get some more variety. It starts on Saturday, and it's the California Classic, and then I forget what the other tournament is that Miami's playing in. So I think those are like a 2 or 3 game tournaments. So yeah, definitely consider those, and I would if we get more props for them. But I have some early leans on that, and I'm gonna keep breaking it down, and we'll share those tomorrow in the WNBA live stream. I'm echoing. It's probably internet connection. Thanks, Gunnaline said. If you're doing a 5 pick equals 4 New York, 1 Atlanta, it would make sense. Yeah, I mean, I just hate targeting Atlanta on the road. I think they're like on a 3-game losing streak right now. They're not doing well at all. Oh, okay. So Ryan Howard's fantasy got moved to 31. Wow, that's a big bump. It opened at 29.5 last night. Julian said Sabrina 3-pointers. Yeah, like I mentioned, it's always live for her. She's gonna take. Did we get Billings props yet? I was waiting on that. I guess PrizePicks is waiting on the starting lineup, because with Tiffany back, we don't know. I will say that I would look out for Asia Durr's points, because or props. She was really efficient in that matchup. So who knows how many minutes she'll actually get. Yeah, and then McDonald, she played 19 minutes in the most recent game that Wheeler made a return, and Wheeler played, like I said, 24 minutes. So yeah, I mean that's real limited minutes. If she's going to play less than 20 minutes again, I think too high in my opinion. But she's super efficient when she's out there. Yeah, they dropped her fantasy all the way down to 18.5. If she's playing 18 to 20 minutes again, she's going to have to average 1 fantasy point per minute. It's risky. But if Wheeler is struggling for any reason, or not getting it done because she's just not fresh or conditioned, then I guess McDonald can pick up. And then Parker, I don't know how I feel in this matchup, but I mean, Yeah, she played. I mean, she played her big usual minutes, but she shot so poorly in that game. So maybe she can turn around today. But yeah, she was a stock monster in that game. She had 2 steals and 2 blocks. So spot for her in this matchup. What is her fantasy? Fantasy's at 23. I think you can consider that. I'm marking that as like a mid tier. Did you guys have any others? Who checks more through, Sabrina or Sammy? I would say Sabrina with Sammy coming off the bench. Now that Sammy's starting, they could split their 3-point attempts more so now. So that could eat into Sabrina's 3-point attempts with Sammy starting. Well, we'll just double check that real quick. Ryan Howard's threes look decent. Slate sucks. D-Ron, I feel you, man. And already said, is Hayes playing after all? That's what I heard originally this morning. I don't know if it's changed. Keep an eye out for that news. So Sammy's averaging 5.6 3-point attempts per game this season, and Sabrina, it's got to be like close to 8, 6.5. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of threes going up tonight. Like I said, they're New York. That's their thing. That's their MO, and then even more so against Atlanta, who they don't want to mess with Atlanta in the paint tonight. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to go under on Dolson points and just load up on 3-point props for New York, game script matches too. Makes sense. But yeah, I really like Sammy. So let's build a card before I got to get out of here. Kane said, would you take the over on McDonald's fantasy? It's tempting, but like I said, the minutes scare me. We just don't know with Wheeler getting back in the mix if her minutes are going to keep ramping up, or are they just going to keep her her second game back, keep her maxed up. But that would still mean probably just 20 minutes for McDonald. But okay, so I'm gonna go. Core plays would be Sammy over. And then Christy Wallace was the other one. And then if you wanted, you could throw in Dolson under, or go with Parker's fantasy, I think. If you wanted to 5 flex it, totally makes sense. I mean, Parker didn't shoot as bad as she did. 3 of 11. She would have easily crushed her fantasy in the most recent matchup against. Or no, she barely cleared it, but she would have crushed it. She didn't shoot as poorly. So I totally get if you want to do that. I need to add that. I forgot. And then as a fifth, besides Parker and under on Dolson, you could go with the 3-point prop for New York, like we talked about with Marine. So Harry said, which team is in the first 6 minutes? I would say New York because of how many threes they take, like I said. And also New York this month of June, I think they are first in the point differential in the first quarter, and pretty much almost first in the entire season. They are out just blowing teams out in the first quarter and getting it done. So, and Atlanta is one of the worst first quarter teams with their net rating. New York again. So I think you could consider New York's team starter field goal made or 3-point made in the first 6 minutes. Will you still take Ryan's fantasy? Yeah, I mean, definitely could throw that in here. Swap out the rebounds. I would say her rebounds fantasy for me is 1A, 1B, like probably equally. So whatever you guys are comfortable on. And Jermaine said, do you like Dolson's rebounds? I think it's right there. My only concern is, like I said, how much energy she's out there spending, keeping up. She just looked gassed, but yeah. And then you have to worry about Natasha soaking up rebounds, and now Sabrina being a rebound monster. She's just like crushing the glass too. Both Sabrina and Natasha would make me worried about Dolson's rebounds, but is still at 4.5. Oh, okay. I think it opened at 4.5 last night. I would maybe consider if it was 4.5, and now that it's at 5, I think it has a really high chance of pushing. Underrated breaking news: Hayes Up's injury report. Okay, there you go. That makes me even more hesitant on McDonald and Wheeler and others. So, yeah. Oh, what's up, bot? Its rebounds went up to 5.5. Great. Do you like Wheeler over turnovers if she gets more minutes? Yeah, the only thing I'm worried about with Wheeler, like I said, second game back, she's been out for so long with that knee injury. I think I think I would just fade her completely, just because of the unknowns with her minutes. I just don't know. But if you roll and you're on the right side on your prediction that she plays less than 25 minutes, then it could really pay off, obviously. But yeah, if she ends up randomly picking up 3 to 5 extra minutes, that could burn you. Still with the bump fantasy, Ryan. Wow. So we got, I just noticed this. So we got a bump too in her fantasy, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, her fantasy opened at 39 last night. She's up to 40.5, 1.5 bump. And then, yeah, Ryan, like you guys said, also took a 1.5 bump. And it looks like Shaq Zhu went down. She got nerfed by 1. I think she opened at 17, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, she opened at 17.5. She's down to 16.5. People smashing under on her. Okay. Yeah, I would try to get cards in sooner than later. It seems like they're just going to keep changing lines all the way up until lock as people are starting to enter more, keep adjusting. Any love for Ryan points 15.5? It's 16.5 underdog. Wow, so her points opened at 14.5 last night. It's all the way up to 15.5. Yeah, she was at 14.5 last night. Yeah, I just I don't know. With Tiffany, I don't know how many minutes she's going to play. I can't imagine it's that much, but she could mess up usage. Goat said, thinking about throwing Sammy and Christina 2-man, just going with those two. I think those are pretty safe plays, and that would make sense. Goat. Obi said they're watching the stream bumping lines. Probably. Deron, she said under season. yeah, this game definitely has potential for unders, especially if the lines makers keep bumping up these fantasy point other lines by significant amount, like 1.5 to 2 bumps. You could definitely go with unders now. It makes sense. And I just feel like this is gonna be an ugly game. How I said, underdog might be the move with all the PrizePicks shenanigans. Yeah, underdog is just frustrating because they force you to. All right, I'm not gonna say anything bad, but I mean, it definitely changes your strategy because they definitely not force but persuade you to take mainly unders because a lot inflated and bloated compared to other line makers and lines out there. So. All right, guys, that's about it. I got to run. Sorry about the late start time and having to be so short, but I think this game doesn't require much attention. I would be safe out there with this one. It could be ugly, but yeah, trust your gut, like I always say. Consider unders, and I like. With these ugly games, I like these low lines here. That's why, with Sammy possibly getting the start, I really like that 9.5. And then, Christy, I think she should have got bumped up to 8.5 or 9, in my opinion. I'm surprised they kept her at 7.5. So I would say the main decision would be what to do with Ryan. Now that they bumped her fantasy, maybe the rebounds is the way to go. Even though it got bumped up just a little bit to 5.5. But yeah. All right, guys, we will be back tomorrow, normal time, 5 p.m. Eastern. I think we have a 3-game slate. Should be good. I think Eric will be back. See if anyone on the crew wants to join. But if not, it'll be the usual 2-man crew with us and normal time. And we'll break all the 3 games down. And should be a good slate, hopefully. But yeah, share those screenshots. I will share my screen card in the free Discord and join if you're not already a member. And I will catch you guys. Good luck, everyone.
Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go. You watching Contact. You can thank the master. Got to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Got to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. 24/7 researching, it's all a fantasy. But if I make the right plays, it pays automatically. Bankroll showing that I know it goes strategy. On a winning streak, I'm stacking a dose of the bookies, all get mad at me. Confident with power plays, not clicking on a flex today. 10 times the money, and we all about to get paid. Rick and Josh on the stream, they be killing it. Never gonna stop it, I like if you feeling it. Picking the players, they all know what time you can't make up your mind and just go with your gut. Fantasize and Sasha Clown. Gabby Williams said, watch your mouth. They 1 and they 2, I played the over, they come through. Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum, pick them both, we stacking them. Going big to the maximum, just push them in, we cashing them. Let's fucking go. We about to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Let's fucking go. You watching Contact. You can thank the master. Got to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. Got to go big. Kill him with the PrizePicks. We about to go big.
This is the game.
You watching Contact.
Let's get hunting.
You can thank the master. Got to go big.